Perfect. All right. Hello, everybody. Happy
Hi, Jill.
Tuesday.
Hi, Jill.
Hi.
Welcome to another wonderful session of Breathe Right. I hope everyone's doing super, super great.
On this
Now let's
glorious day.
Pardon?
On this glorious day.
It is a glorious day indeed. It's beautiful. Could not be better.
No.
Nope, nope.
Stay like this till spring, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think we'll get that lucky, but that's okay.
Nope.
Okay, team, let's just have a quick look around us, making sure there's a nice clear area to exercise in, nothing to step on or trip over. All right. And remembering that we are going to get into our breathing pattern. So focusing on breathing out through pursed lips. And if at any point during the class you feel shaky or like you can't catch a full breath, just pause, focus on just your breathing, and you can always go into that recovery position on your forearms or on your hands. Just make sure we're not rounded at the back. You want to keep your chest up to help with your airways. All right. So on that note, and then the last important thing, everybody, all noise on your end can be heard by everybody. So if you have an interruption, like a phone call, someone coming into the room, some chit chat happening in a room next to you, please just put yourself on mute. And then other than that, I welcome questions and some discussion, because sometimes some really interesting things pop up. But just mute yourself when there's noise on your end. Thank you. All right, let's get going. Put a hand on your belly. We're going to take a deep breath in, and let's aim for a 3-second inhale and a 4-second exhale through pursed lips. If you need a shorter amount of time or you can do a bit longer, that's great. I'm just going to count 3 and 4. So breathing in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, 4. Now make sure it's a smooth inhale, exhale. Breathe in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, 4. One more in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, 4. Now maintain that breathing pattern. And we're just going to start lifting up one heel at a time. And then we're also going to get our arms moving. So as you lift up your left heel, let's get your right arm across your body and then back down together. Heel up, arm across, down, heel up, arm across, down, heel up, arm across, down. And we will just alternate like that. Again, maintaining that steady breathing pattern as we go. Perfect. Now just checking in, everybody, I am using a different camera than normal today. Am I a clear picture? Am I too far away? Is everything looking good?
Clear, but you're a little far away. Good.
Far away, Jojo.
I'm a bit far away.
You're a lot
Okay.
smaller. We got more ceiling than anything.
It's a tall ceiling.
Okay.
I will readjust as soon as we readjust what we're doing here. So now I want you to stretch your toes out. So point your toes down, and I want you to lift an arm up behind you from the elbow and then back down. So Point the toes, elbow up. So once again, guys, any noise on your end, if you can please mute so it's not disruptive, that would be awesome. Thank you, thank you. All right, now keep pointing your toe in front of you and lifting up the elbow. And I'm just going to adjust this new camera so that you're not getting quite as much ceiling, was the feedback. That might not be quite good enough. Let's try. Pardon the interruption, gang. There, that should be better. There. Is that better?
About the same.
About the same.
Exactly the same.
It's a little bit better.
Looks fine to me.
Not to worry, it's okay, Jill.
Perfect. Thank you, David. And switching it up, we're now going to open up one arm to the side, one at a time, but your opposite leg is going to point out to the side as well, away from that moving arm. A little bit like a disco move. Perfect. And we are doing our best to maintain our breathing pattern. Perfect. And as we start working harder, it's going to be more and more difficult to maintain that 2 or 3 second inhale, 3 or 4 second exhale, and that's okay. What is important is that you are just remembering to breathe out through pursed lips. That's going to help you stay in control of your breathing. That's going to help reduce feeling short of breath or breathless. Excellent. All right, rest there. So now, if you feel comfortable standing, I'm going to get you to stand. Otherwise, stay seated. We're going to work on a little bit of balance. Now let's go heel to toe, even if you're seated. And if you want a bit more of a seated challenge without standing, feel free to sit on a rolled up towel or on a pillow. That's going to add a little bit of instability. Okay. Now, and if you're standing, you can just have your feet side by side. They do not have to be heel to toe. Make sure you have balance support right close to you. Now, everybody close one eye. And now slowly switch which eye is open, which eye is closed. It's amazing how our vision helps our balance. Switch eyes, nice and slow. Doing it too quickly can cause a couple of you to feel a bit dizzy. So that's why we just go a little bit slow, maintain that breathing, and switch eyes. Does one side feel more balanced than the other? And by side, I mean one eye being open versus the other eye.
Yep,
Yeah.
for sure.
That's
One
very
eye you're
normal.
clear, the other one you're fuzzy.
Gotcha. That sounds a little bit more like a imbalance of vision versus your what's called your vestibular system. That's the system that is in charge of helping your body know where you are in the space around you. Now try closing both eyes. And if you're standing, be very, very cautious that that balance support is right beside you. Your hand is just about to touch it. Because those eyes closed can make people wobble or sway. That goal is just to stay nice and still. And slowly open your eyes. We're just going to switch which foot was in front if you had your feet stacked. All right, and close one eye, keep the other open. And if this feels a bit too easy, feel free to lift up one arm and then the other. So that little bit of movement can make your balance more challenging. Slowly switch eyes. Great job, team. Slowly switch eyes. Remember, the arm movement is optional. Movement makes balancing more challenging. And slowly switch eyes. I don't see too much wobbling. And both eyes closed. Again, be very cautious if you're standing. Have that support really close by. And relax. You can shake it out. Brilliant, team. All right, the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to get you to put your feet wide apart, knees wide apart. And then I'm going to get you to reach just down to one knee and back up. And then you'll switch. If you can reach further down without any pulling in your back, you can. For those of you that do have osteoporosis in your spine, which is different than osteoarthritis. So if you've got osteoporosis, just be very, very cautious that you're not twisting and you're not bending at your back. You're just pulling from the hips only, and just go really, really slow. Good. With any movement, we do want to be aware of how our body is reacting to a new movement. So just keep track of how you're feeling. Start off slow, and if it's feeling good, you can slowly go a little bit further. You'll know you're doing it right if you're reaching and it feels tight on the other inner thigh. If it feels tight at the front of your hips, that's a good sign that you're not rounding at your back. Good. And one more. Good. And rest there. So now what I'm going to get you to do, and we're doing a couple different things today, guys. We're going to pull the arms apart. So still keep your feet where they are. You want to pull your fingers back. You should feel a slight stretch across your arm, maybe across the chest. If it feels like a sharp pull in your hand or a little bit tingly or burny, then just flatten your hands a little bit more. Don't pull them back as much, because that's just usually your nerve telling you that it is being stretched. Your muscles like being stretched, your nerves do not. And when you're super, super tight, it can sometimes stretch the nerves. So just making sure you're paying attention. And from here, we're going to slowly turn to one side. Again, don't let this knee follow you. That's going to help you not turn further than what your back wants. So just slightly turn, come back, and turn the other way. Again, I'm pushing off this foot. The knee stays where it is. It does not follow. And slowly come back, turn. If at any point your neck gets tired or it starts feeling a little tingly, feel free just to cross your arms over your body or over your chest. Last one. Maintain your breathing pattern and rest. All right. Now, a lot of you looked like you had tight muscles, especially through the hips. And that's normal. So we are going to start implementing a little bit more active stretching, which is also called mobility, the ability for your body to move through its different range of motion. Okay. But now let's start getting the heart rate back up. We're going to lift up one knee, touch across, touch away, and touch across again, touch away. So we're not alternating. We're just touching and moving away, touching, moving away. There we go. And switch sides, together, away, together, away. Maintain that breathing pattern. Remember to stay up nice and tall, whether you're seated or standing. And remember that this is your exercise class. It is up to you to pick an intensity that is challenging yet doable. And that's how we can get so many different people in one group doing the same exercises. It's up to you to adjust the intensity. Switch again. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, switch. 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 1, 2, 3, and switch. 1, 2, 3, and switch. 1, 2, 3, and switch. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go, team. And maybe if you're feeling comfortable with the movement, you need a little bit more of a challenge, maybe we can go a little bit quicker. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and rest. Brilliant job, everybody. All right, we're gonna reach forward, one hand, reach forward, 1 foot, bring everything back, and then switch. Reach out, bring it back. Reach out, bring it back. Now remember, when I say this is your exercise class, that means that if you need a breather, so you feel like you don't have your breathing pattern under control, it's your job to stop for a moment and focus on your recovery breathing, and then come back into enjoying the exercise once you've got it under control. Everyone also goes at their own pace. That's part of intensity. How quickly or slowly you move. All right, now we're going to do twice before switching. 1, same side, 2, then switch. 1, same side, 2, then switch. 1, same side, 2, then switch. 1, 2, 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 switch. If you need a bit more of a challenge, maybe now we go just a little bit quicker. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and rest. There we go. So once more, get back into your recovery breathing. Even if you're huffing and puffing a little bit, it can sound like a the key thing is that you are breathing out through pursed lips. So remember, that helps your lungs get out more unoxygenated air. We can call it old air, so that there's more room for new air to come in. So breathe out through pursed lips. Perfect. Okay, team. We're going to get into a couple focused cardio intervals. We had a bit of warm up with some mobility, and we challenged your endurance a little bit. There wasn't a whole lot of rest time. So for those of you that this is your first class, please come back on Thursday. Each class is different, I promise. So now, just to keep it simple, to start, we're just going to march. So a normal march, lifting up one knee and swing the arms. And we're gonna go for a minute. Now, I'm gonna give you the 30-second heads up. So if you will need to work for a little bit less and rest for more time, perfect. You go for 30 seconds, rest for a minute. Otherwise, you can work for a minute, rest for 30 seconds. Okay, do what is best for you and your body. Let's start marching. Remember to maintain your breathing pattern. Good, that's 30 seconds. Keep up that breathing pattern. And that was a minute. So again, rest, focus on that recovery breathing. Maybe you need to go into that recovery position, which does help open up your airways. Maybe remind yourself that you are having so much fun.
We always are with you.
Brilliant. Brilliant. I love it. All right, now team, we're going to take our hands. We're going to move them from one shoulder across to the hip. So it's moving your hands across. If you want to add a small weight, you can. The key here, though, is just to keep your core super, super tight. Ready, and let's go. So I've just got my hands clasped and moving them across the body and focusing so, so hard on keeping my core tight. So this one is only going to be 30 seconds per side. I should have given you the 15-second mark. I'm sorry. And switch sides. Keep up that breathing pattern, team. Good. Keep that core tight and rest. So again, catch your breath, maybe go into that recovery position. I know 30 seconds rest is pretty short, but it is a great time to ask any questions, any comments, or just catch your breath.
I have a question.
Yes.
When you, when somebody's really out of breath and they're supposed to purse, what is the difference between that and just breathing through your mouth?
That is a great question. And I'm going to answer that as we start our next interval. So what I'm going to get everybody to do is to step their feet out, out, in, out, out, in. Ready and go. So the reason why we ask you guys to breathe out through pursed lips. And the reason why a lot of people should be breathing out through pursed lips, it's kind of a double answer. So on one hand, breathing out through pursed lips creates a little bit of back pressure into your lungs. So for someone with thickened airways, such as in COPD, or with any sort of inflammation, with asthma, that pursed lip exhale, that backlash, helps splint open your airways. And that splinting open helps open up the airways so that you get more air coming out. You are emptying your lungs more fully. When you have more old air staying in your lungs, that contributes to you feeling breathless. Rest there. That was a minute. I didn't give you the 30 seconds. Breathe. The second piece that is it does also help. It's a more purposeful breath. It does help you engage your diaphragm. And your diaphragm is one of those breathing muscles that sits underneath your rib cage. It's kind of like that saran wrap at the bottom of your rib cage, and it helps you inhale and exhale. So it helps engage it, and once more, helping to push more air out of your lungs. Now, that's a key reason why for pulmonary conditions, it's so important. But for everybody, pursed lip breathing and purposeful breathing has actually shown to help people take a fuller breath. So getting more oxygen in at a time. It helps decrease your heart rate and blood pressure. So people who are feeling stressed, athletes who are trying to recover in between bouts of exercise, soccer player sprints down the field, needs to catch their breath. Somebody who's feeling a bit of road rage in Kelowna summer traffic. All those things help bring your body into a relaxed state. So now what we're doing, guys, is we're going to reach our arm forward one at a time to swim through the air. And you go at your own pace. Let's go.
Good, Jill.
Yeah, so, and the last piece of that is, if anyone's heard of their fight or flight, which is your central nervous system activation, right? You're ready to go, your fight or flight, everything's ready to go. The opposite of that is your rest digest. That's your calm state. So different clients of mine that have trouble falling asleep, they get caught up in all the things they needed to do that day. If they're feeling stressed, that actually helps put you in a rest state. So there we go. There's lots of benefit to a pursed lip exhale. We're past the 30-second mark. We're going to go for about 15 more.
With that breathing, maybe we'll fall asleep during your exercises.
Oh, geez, I hope not. And rest. I won't be doing a good job then. There we go. Actually was recently talking to a cardiologist who mentioned that there was some pretty good research about a correlation between pursed lip breathing, so that pursed lip exhale that you're all getting so good at, and helping to manage arrhythmia, which is a abnormal heartbeat. So sometimes the heart skips a couple beats, sometimes it goes a little bit too fast and slows down. Those are all in the umbrella term of arrhythmia. And they were saying that that pursed lip exhale was showing to have a bit of a correlation in helping some people manage that arrhythmia, which is really neat.
Yeah.
So I gave you the pulmonary reason and the nervous system reason.
That's good, because I just found out I have atrial fibrillation, which is a fast beating of the heart sometimes. And I know
Yes.
since I started these exercises,
Mhm.
it hasn't happened as often, so.
That's wonderful. Awesome. Yeah, exercise is such a good way to help manage a variety of conditions. It's part of the whole treatment plan. So that's fantastic. Well
And
done.
I can usually feel when it starts, and I've started doing the deep breathing, and it's definitely
It helps. Yay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Next, guys, is punching up one hand into the air at a time. Let's go. You are welcome to hold a small weight, a soup can.
Just go up.
And if you've got sore shoulders or neck where you know this overhead movement does not feel good, keep it in front of you. Or you can go part way up. You can go even from here. So you can go within the range that feels good for you. Key here is to keep up tall, tighten through your core. Maintain your breathing. And unfortunately, once again, we are way past that 30-second mark. And rest there. Again, get into your breathing pattern, maybe your recovery position, which does help you open up your airways. Okay, team. That was a lot of cardio today so far. Great work. So once we finish off this brief rest to catch your breath, and again, if you need more time, please take it. We're going to get into a little favorite of everybody, some sit to stands.
Just knew it.
You just knew it.
I did.
Certainly not
Our
my
favorite.
favorite.
Not your favorite. Well, good news is we're only going to do 5. Just 5.
Piece of cake.
Piece of cake.
He
So-
goes real slow.
You're either going to stand all the way up, super strong, push through those feet and all the way down. Or if you're not comfortable with that movement, you can either do just a partial movement, or you're thinking about just pushing your feet into the ground. These muscles tighten up and then you rest. Don't get caught just leaning forward though. Make your leg muscles do work. All right, we've got 5. I'm going to do 2 seated, just to remind you what it is, and 3 all the way up. Okay, you choose what's best for you. Ready and go. You're either pushing your feet into the ground. Well, everybody is pushing their feet into the ground. The difference is whether you're getting all the way up or not. And down / relax. Perfect. And slowly up. Good. And slowly come down. So relax your legs. And up, nice and slow. And then down, control. And that's when you relax your legs. And up. And down, slow. And one more, up. And down. Brilliant. Shake those legs out. And now everybody needs actually, does everyone have a stretchy band? Grab a stretchy band. And if you don't have one, that's okay. You can use a weight. I actually left my stretchy band just to the side here. That was silly of me. All right, and you're gonna put the band around your back. Oh, that's 2 pieces. So just get it around your back. You want it underneath your armpits.
Uh-oh.
Whoop.
And that's why it's a great idea to check
have a
over your
second one.
band frequently. And if you see a small tear, don't ignore the tear. It's time for a new band. Now, get that band around your back. You're gonna push your arms forward in front of you and then slowly bring them back. If you've got just a weight, you can hold on to the weight with both hands, out and back, out and back. Brilliant. Out and back. Let's try to get somewhere between 5 and 10. So again, the goal of the class is challenging yet doable. Now, how many of you did a quick look over your band after that? Most of you, all of you should have checked over your band after that. Out and back. Out and back. Remember, it is helpful to breathe out on the exertion. So here, the exertion, the most effort is pushing your hands away from you. In the sit to stands, the most effort would be standing up. And one more. And relax the arms. I counted 10 for myself.
15,
You did 15. Were you going faster than I was?
maybe.
To be fair, I'm also a very bad counter. I try my best. Now, we just did some upper body. We're going to do 5 sit to stands. Ready?
Yep.
And if you need longer rest, please take it. And go. So you're either staying seated, pressing those feet into the ground, tense up those leg muscles, and then relax. Again, we're doing just 5, or you're standing all the way up or part of the way up, whatever is best for you, and down. Again, try timing your breath so that you can breathe out as you stand up. So that breathing out helps give you a bit more strength. Other examples of that would be lifting something up that's a bit heavy, or a grocery bag, or climbing stairs. Pushing up onto the next step. Try breathing out next time you walk up a stair. And I believe that was 4. That's magic number 5. Good. Once more, get into that recovery breathing as needed. You can always get into that recovery position to open up your airways. And if you need a little bit of movement while you catch your breath, feel free just to keep your arms moving. Maybe you want to keep your legs moving instead. Everyone always has a favorite, upper body versus lower body. And my goal each class is to make both groups unhappy because we do whole body. All right. Now you're going to grab your band again. And this time we're going to pull it open. So you're going to hold it and you're going to pull one open out to the side. The other arm stays still, and then slowly bring it back. And then the other arm, pull open. And the best thing about being intentional and purposeful with your movement is that I'm not using a resistance band, but I'm still tightening my muscles. So when I pull, I'm pretending I'm pulling a super heavy band. I feel that tightening in the back of my shoulder, and then slowly bring my arm back. Now, again, those of you with a sore neck or shoulders, holding the band lower does help reduce that tension. And you can always make the band a little bit lighter. So the more slack you start within the band, the less hard it is to pull the band. Brilliant. And again, pulling that band to the side, that is the exertion of the movement, the most effort of the movement. Try breathing out as you pull. Good. You should feel this in the back of your shoulder and shoulder blade.
You are dead right.
Brilliant. And rest there. Put it to the side. We've got 5 sit to stands.
Oh,
And I have a feeling that this is really the pivotal class where my ratings plummet. And I decided I'm okay with that. So aiming for 5, you're either staying seated, push those feet into the ground, and then relax, or all the way up, nice and slow and controlled on that way down. Normally, BC Lung loves hearing your feedback about these classes, but their comment section isn't working today, so you're going to have to wait until Thursday.
How convenient.
So that's 4, guys, and just do the best you can. If you can't reach 5, that's okay. This is your workout. Just do the best that you can and rest. Brilliant. Okay, once more, get into that breathing pattern. Maybe you need that recovery position. Brilliant, 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 everybody. So next, you are going to put either the band underneath your feet, holding on either side, or you are holding on to a weight. Once again, especially if you're just starting out, you've never used weights before, or you're feeling particularly worn out today, you can do it without a weight, without a band. But all you're gonna do is you're gonna hold on, and either one at a time, you're gonna curl that arm up, or both at a time. So when we have talked about intensity in the past, the more body parts exercising at one time, the more challenging it is, the more intense it is. So you decide what is best for you and go. Either both at the same time, down nice and slow, or one at a time. Now I'm gonna have to get a new band for Thursday. Any vote on what color I should get?
green.
Pink.
Brilliant. Maybe I'll get a selection.
Blue.
And those of you that might also need a new band or just a band altogether, different companies make a different color selection on what resistance is what color, which is very inconsistent and frustrating. So the best thing to do is just go to the store and actually just test it out and see if you can pull it apart. Okay.
I'd recommend a color that doesn't blend in with the wall. We'd
Brilliant.
be doing this and just like
Yeah.
that.
Deal. Did I hear a band break?
Slip.
It slipped. Okay, perfect. And rest, shake it out. So actually a good tip, guys, holding onto the band, if your hands get sore and tired, you can wrap the band around your palm 1 or 2 times so that your grip strength isn't the only thing holding onto the band. It kind of just pulls on your palm a little bit. It can still get a little bit uncomfortable, but that way arthritic fingers, weaker or tired grips, they have a bit of an easier time using the band, okay? Now, once more for the reviews, last time we're doing 5 sit to stands. Woo!
Yippee.
Let's go. All the way up, nice and slow, and down with control. Remembering you can go just partially up and then back down, or you can stay seated and push your legs into the ground and then relax. So this is 4 and 5. And rest. Brilliant. Brilliant. All right, let's grab, actually, nothing. If you are comfortable standing, I'm going to get you to stand. If you are not comfortable standing, then I am going to get you to get the band around your back and just hold the band in front. And you are going to slowly bring one hand back towards your chest, push it back out, and then your other arm is going to slowly come back to your chest, push it out. Now, if you are comfortable standing, I'm going to get you to stand against the wall. Now, the further away your feet are from the wall, the harder it's going to be. And before you wonder, we are not doing wall push-ups. So take a breath. All I'm going to get you to do is to be nice and strong through your core. Take one hand, touch your opposite shoulder without any turning or twisting at your body. Go back and switch. So once again, you can be as straight up in a normal standing position as you'd like. And the lower you go, the harder it's going to be. Now, just a really important thing here is that you keep your hands in line with your shoulder. I don't want to see any hands up above the shoulder because that just puts a lot of pressure on your shoulder, can put pressure on the back. Keep those hands stacked underneath your shoulders. Good. So go slow and really focus on that belly tightening up. That's your core keeping you strong. Oh, and breathe. Good. Let's aim for 3 more. 3, 2, no movement through the hips. And 1. Excellent. Brilliant job. Relax there. And we've got one more exercise for the core, and then we're going to stretch. All right, so all I'm going to get you to do is sit at the front of your chair, no back against the backrest. I'm going to get you to take one hand, super slowly go within your range. If you've got osteoporosis, do an even smaller range of motion than you think you need to. And I'm just going to get you to touch the back of your chair. So it's that really small movement, but you have to keep your belly tight the whole time and then pull through your belly button to pull you back up till your hands are on your thighs. So reach. This stays tight the whole time and I'm up tall, I'm not slouching. Pull through the belly to pull you back up. Reach and pull. Now, if it doesn't feel like a whole lot, great job. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Now I just need you purposefully clenching your core. You are making your core work, not the movement. And all we're doing here is we're telling your core, when I turn, you keep me stable and strong. Not the spine, not the shoulder, the core has to do the job in this movement. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yep.
Good, let's do just once more to each side. Brilliant. And again, be really cautious and rest there. So you wouldn't believe the number of shoulder and sternum and kind of cartilage around the ribs aches and pains and injuries I've seen from people reaching behind them in the car to grab a bag and pull it forward. And if their core isn't used to being the main worker in that movement, then that's a lot of strain on an opened up shoulder. So that's a good thing to practice, and being aware whenever you have to turn, if you aren't able to move your feet to face where you need to pick something up or grab something, focus on tightening that core every time. Okay. Now it's time to stretch. So let's reach, let's actually just get one elbow up, and you can either push it. Some people like to wrap their whole arm around. I find that sometimes my hair gets in the way there. Focus on your breathing. And we are switching arms. So you all focus really well today during exercise. Remember, stretch time is a fantastic time to ask other questions, because it's not a time where we're focusing as hard on the movement and instructions. So fire away.
What about if you can't turn your neck very good?
Is this due to it being tight, or is this due to something in your neck or cervical spine, which is the bones in the neck? Because it's different. So if you've got something, rest there, team, stretch a leg out, reach towards your toes, keeping up tall. So if you guys try to turn your neck and you have a limitation like pain, crunching, you know you have arthritis in your neck and this is an uncomfortable movement, then it's not a movement. You don't want to push that range of motion, because the more you push into areas of pain, that can get your body to resist and to guard and to tighten up. It is good to maintain the range of motion that you have. So if turning this far is really painful and you can feel that painful kind of crunching that sometimes goes along with arthritis, but here feels good, then you just want to make sure you occasionally get there and hold. You can gently push. Again, don't push into any pain areas, just to where there's a slight stretch, and relax. You can get a ball into the back of your shoulders, switch legs. And there's lots and lots of exercises you can do, both for breathing, neck pain, and lower back pain. A good thing to do is to keep the middle part of your back, which is called your thoracic spine. It's important to keep that moving. And that's the postural part of your back. So when we start getting into a rounded posture, that's often a tight thoracic spine, tight shoulders. The more you can move on those areas and get things moving, the more it'll actually have a bit of a positive effect on the shoulders up and the back, the lower back. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yep.
Perfect.
I have a problem lifting my head up to shave, to get it.
Because it's tight, or does it hurt?
Well, it doesn't hurt, just tight.
It's best
It's
to
just-
quit shaving.
You grow a beard. I thought about it.
And rest there, team. Just either drop a leg back behind you or turn sideways to do the same thing. So in the case where there is tightness, because when we don't practice movements, so I think of my university students, they suddenly get a whole bunch of studying and sitting in, and all of a sudden their shoulders go because they're constantly in that position. Then they have to work to get out of that position and resist those tight muscles. So same thing, if it's really tight to lift your head up and there's no pain, a good thing to do is laying back in your recliner chair or when you're in bed before you get out of bed in the morning, before you fall asleep, is to gently tilt your head up and down. So doing that 5 times to start, and then pulling your arms open, hold, and close. Those 2 movements can help with that stretching and mobility.
Good. Try that.
Okay, try that for sure. Switch sides that we're stretching. We're getting close to the end of class. Any other questions, team?
Yeah, before the break, you were taking the girls to Vancouver for soccer. How did you make out?
So I love that you remembered, Barry. I'm going to tell you because I brought it up last night was the team's first practice back after a summer break. And I told them that a lot of people had been asking. And I told them what my answer had been. My answer is that they came 4th out of 8.
Oh,
That's
Perfect.
good.
pretty
which is
good.
about how I expected them to do.
Good
It's
job.
it's not great. It's pretty good. And I told them last night, I said, really, we played 4 games that tournament. It's provincials. You played 2 really good games and you played 2 bad games. And I said this last night, I said, you had about half of your training sessions over the year really intense and focused, and half where it was pulling teeth, really trying to work to get you girls engaged.
And you only
And
had how many do you have? Only 13 players?
Goodness me, only 13.
Which is
No,
tough.
we picked up an extra, so we
Oh.
went down with I think 14.
Uh-huh.
But then we got by the final game we had 12, 11 or 12. It was 12. Yeah, it was brutal, absolutely brutal. But it was fun, and they're excited, and they're feeling a bit of that fire, that desire to do better this year.
Great.
Which
Good
is why
for
I gave
them.
them that talk. Yeah, so they're excited, and we've got some new recruits.
Well,
Great.
that's good.
Got a roster of 17, which is awesome.
Oh, awesome.
Good.
Yeah, really good. All right, team, the last thing we're gonna do is I'm just gonna invite you to take in 2 slow, deep breaths. Once again, go within your range. I'm gonna aim for a 3-second inhale, 4-second exhale. You are welcome to slowly lift your hands. You can keep your hand on your belly, whatever it is you'd like to do. Breathing in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, 4, breathe in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, 4. Shake it out.
Yippee.
Awesome.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you,
Thanks,
You're
Jill.
so
Maureen.
welcome.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for coming
See you
on today.
Thursday.
That
Thanks
sounds
for
perfect.
everything, guys.
Of course, Betty. Thanks, Peter. Thank you, George.
See you Thursday,
Bye.
guys.
Thank you, Yolanda.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye, Ranjit.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.